So, welcome back to the third session of depreciation, dear students. In the last two sessions, we have seen the meaning of depreciation and its related terms. Having discussed about the related terms of depreciation like amortization, like your dilapidation, your obsolescence and all, need, like why we need to provide depreciation. Then we saw what are the causes for depreciation like use of asset, passage of time, effects of time, and so on. And then we saw the three major factors of depreciation like cost of asset, like scrap of asset, that is the scrap value, and the useful life of asset. And there we saw how to calculate depreciation also. And along with that, we saw different methods of charging depreciation. So today, we are going to focus on the basic two methods which are prescribed by Board of Intermediate for your syllabus. Among the different methods what I gave you in the first session, like straight line method, diminishing balance method, then your annuity method, your insurance policy method, and so on. But for our syllabus, we are given with only two methods, that is straight line method and diminishing balance method. So today we are going to focus on how to prepare the asset account under these two methods of depreciation. One is when we are maintaining or following straight line method, and one that is the other model where we will follow the diminishing balance method. So it's very important to know first the concept of the method of charging depreciation. So the first method of charging depreciation, as I said, is we are going to prepare asset account under which method? Straight line method. So first we'll know what is the meaning of straight line method. Straight line method has got different names. It is recognized by different names also, like original cost method, fixed installment method, sum of equal installments method. The name itself is telling that it is straight line method, means straight in the sense one which is not up and down, one which is going to be in the proper straight line. So here when we talk about the straight line method of depreciation, the meaning of straight line depreciation says that in this method, a percentage of original cost, already we have seen the concept of original cost. So a percentage of original cost is taken as depreciation, and that will remain constant throughout the life of the asset. Constant throughout the life of the asset. Now, in simple language, if we want to say what is straight line method, then we say that straight line method is one of the method of charging depreciation where the amount of depreciation which we are going to charge on the asset will remain constant, will remain same throughout the life of the asset. Then comes the reason, sir, why we call it as original cost method. That also we should know. Since every year we calculate a specified rate of depreciation, and that depreciation is calculated on the original cost of the asset. Thereby, we call it as original cost method or fixed installment method. Now, when we look at the exam merits and demerits of this method, we see that it is very simple method of calculating depreciation. Why it is simple? Because in this method, we calculate depreciation only for one time. Say for example, 10,000 rupees depreciation we got, that will remain constant. So calculation became. Secondly, what will happen? Here, we can depreciate the asset till its scrap value. In the sense, at the end of the life of the asset, the value of asset will become zero. That is for sure. In the sense, the asset will get exhausted. And here, the most important advantage is what? There is going to be uniformity in the amount of depreciation which we are going to transfer to profit and loss account every year. No need to change the amount of depreciation. So which convention we are going to follow? Here in the third advantage, we follow the accounting convention called convention of consistency. Convention of consistency, in the sense, throughout the life of the asset, one uniform amount of depreciation is charged, thereby there is compliance of consistency convention. Then comes demerits. What are the demerits? We cannot make arrangement for interest on the capital. Whatever investment we made, we cannot make investment. Another important defect is what? Scientifically, if we see, we know with the passage of time, the value of asset is decreasing. Even we have to decrease what? We have to decrease the amount of depreciation. But what we are doing? We are charging same amount of depreciation. How? Say for example, if I am charging on an asset which is of 1 lakh, if I am charging depreciation 10,000, what is the written down value of asset? 90,000. But next year also I am charging how much? 10,000. Next year also 10,000. Means on one hand the value of asset is decreasing, but on the other hand the value of depreciation is constant, which seems to be little bit illogical, in the sense there is no logic in it. Apart from that, the value of asset becomes zero. Practically, asset value becomes zero. But still what we are doing? We are showing the asset in the books of accounts. Like that, there are some difficulties which are involved with the amount of depreciation that is under this method. Now, we are going to do certain number of problems in the straight line method. But before solving problems, I am going to give you few guidelines which you have to follow. Without following guidelines, it is very difficult to solve the problem. So first guideline, listen carefully. What is the first guideline we are supposed to comply when we are doing depreciation? First thing is, you should focus on the cost of asset. From the given question, you have to find out what is the total original cost of the asset, which I taught you in the model number 1. Cost of asset, 1 lakh plus 50,000 or only 1 lakh. That you have to keep in mind. Original cost of asset. The second important point is, that is the guideline is, see the date of purchase. We need to see when we bought the asset. Date of purchase you have to see. And generally now we are given with the date which is always, not always, sometimes the middle of the year also will be given. But generally they say that beginning of the financial year we are purchasing the asset. Date of purchase is okay, you can manage. But date of accounting is important. The sense when we are closing the books of accounts. Always the books of accounts are closed at the end of financial year. Please do keep in mind, financial year. That is, every year the financial year ends, which we call even as accounting period. According to the Companies Act, it is 31st March every year. Don't take December. Always we have to take 31st March only. That is the second important guideline. Third important guideline is, there are two possibilities of purchasing the asset. One, we may purchase the asset as I said you on 1st April. Every possibility is there. But sometimes we may purchase asset even in the middle of the year. Middle of the year. Say for example, I am purchasing asset on 1st October. I may purchase asset on 1st December. There is no hard and fast rule to purchase the asset. Whenever the company or the business feels, they can purchase. But recording or charging depreciation should be always on 31st March only. Then comes, sir, if at all I purchase the asset in middle of the year, as I gave you the example of October. Let me say we purchased asset on 1st October. How many months it comes? So we have to calculate. October, November, December, January, February, March. How many months it comes? 6 months. So in that particular year, we'll calculate depreciation only for 6 months. We cannot charge for 12 months. That kind of problems also we are going to see very soon. Next important point. In the last class, I taught you 3 basic journal entries. I told you one should know the entry for purchasing the asset. What was the entry for purchase asset? The entry for purchasing the asset was asset account debit to cash account. Asset account debit to cash account. Now some of them, instead of using cash, they use bank also. When we use bank, for example, if you are purchasing asset by issuing a check, you can use bank. There is no, like I mean to say, hard and fast rule that only cash should be paid. No. Since we are in the digital world, majority of transactions we do with bank. So we can write even bank. Then second entry, in case if there are any installation expenses, then we'll write the entry asset account debit to cash account again. Third entry, which we are going to pass on 31st March every year, that is for charging depreciation. Every year on 31st March, we have to charge depreciation. And what is the entry for charging depreciation? Depreciation account debit to asset account. These 3 basic journal entries will guide you to solve the problem. And then comes the next guideline. Usually in exam, they'll ask you to prepare account for 3 years, 4 years or 5 years. So what you are supposed to do? As usual, you have to do the account. Say for example, they asked you 4 years. So 4 complete years, you have to do the solution. And 5th year, you have to leave the balance. That I am going to teach you in the problems. So now the focus is on doing the straight line method. The different names of straight line method before I start the problems. Let us see once again. This method is known by different names. Fixed installment method, straight line method, original cost method. These are the 3 basic terms or the basic names which are given for the method. But apart from that, it is also called as sum of equal installments method. Sum of equal installments method. So just you can have a glance for a while on the theory part. Meaning of what? Meaning of straight line method. 2 marks question again. They may ask you straight line method, original cost method or fixed installment method. The meaning will remain same. What is that? This method, percentage of original cost of asset is written down. See the highlights, how I have highlighted. If you present the answer, that should be the eye-catching point for your examiner. Then the other name is what? Original cost method or fixed installment method. The other focal point of the answer is what? Amount of depreciation is uniform, same or constant. Sir, you wrote all the 3 words. Are we supposed to write 3 words? No. You can write uniform. That is sufficient. These are the synonyms which I have used. Then merits and demerits. Of course, in this level, they won't ask you to write merits and demerits generally, but they'll ask you for 2 marks the theory part, that is explain straight line method. Now, we'll see how to solve the problem. Usually, we are going to get 5 marks question on depreciation. Compulsory, it's a question on depreciation. Now, I have formulated 3 questions for you here. 3 questions. First question is Komal is purchasing an asset. In the second question, I gave you another question, and third. These are the 3 questions which we are going to solve. Now let us focus on the first question. On 1st April 2016, Komal purchased machine worth 60,000. It was decided to depreciate it under fixed installment method by charging 10% depreciation. Books of accounts are closed on 31st March every year. Prepare machine account for 3 years. Hope you all understood the question. First thing, what we want to know is what is the cost of asset? Cost of asset is 60,000. Second thing, when we bought the machine on 1st April 2016. Means at the beginning of the financial year. Third, we want to know how much is the rate of depreciation. They gave 10% rate of depreciation. And which method they told? Fixed installment method. So here, when it comes to fixed installment method, you should create an idea in the mind about the theme. What is the theme of fixed installment method? The amount of depreciation will remain same. And how much percent? 10%. On which cost? Original cost. So how to do the problem? Always keep in mind, you need whatever paper you have, in that you need half paper for your solution and remaining half paper will use for working notes. So focus on the question how I am solving on the blackboard now. So as it is, you are going to write solution. Then first write the heading. Which account? Machine account. You'll write the heading machine account. After that, fold the page so that it becomes into two equal parts. Then keep the scale and draft the account. Draft the account properly. And keep the scale in middle and draw half page account. Give a thick line so that debit side and credit side. Now give the column. Date column, particulars column, amount column. Always use pencil. Don't draw the account with pen and use proper scale. Date, particulars, amount. Date, particulars, amount. Extreme heads, debit, credit compulsory. Don't give examiner a room or chance to cut your marks. So date, particulars, amount. Date, particulars, and amount. Having done for half page, draw the line, close it. Then below the account, do two-sided working notes. Don't use rough page here and there. So here, draw the working like this. Again, two sides. Just this is for calculation purpose. This is for calculation. Now we are going to see the solution. We are going to see the solution. So the question says what? When we bought the machine on 1st April. For how much we bought? 60,000. So first come to working notes better and write here cost of machine. How much is cost of machine? 60,000. Then what is the rate of depreciation they gave? You write that. Rate of depreciation 10%. This will solve your most of the problem while doing the solution. Now we are purchasing the asset. What is the entry I thought for purchasing the asset? I told entry for purchasing the asset is asset account debit. That is machine account debit. So machine account which side? Debit side. We are doing posting. Journal entry will tell in the mind and we'll do the posting. So which account is debited? Machine account. So machine account debit. Which date? 1st April 2018. To which account? Either you write bank or cash. Choice is yours. With how much? 60,000. Machine account debit to bank account 60,000. Right? Now when the 1 year will complete? It completes on 31st March 2017 financial year. So credit side, write 31st March 2017 and keep ready. Come to working notes and write depreciation per annum 60,000 into 10%. 10 by 100. Cancel the zeros. To cancel the zeros, we get Depreciation how much? 6,000 per annum. 6,000 per annum. Why I wrote per annum? Because this is which method? Straight line method. So every year I am going to charge 6,000 as depreciation. Done? So what is the entry for charging depreciation? I thought depreciation account debit to asset account. So which account is credited? Asset account is credited. So we'll come to credit side by depreciation. We'll write full by depreciation. How much? 6,000. Now we have to find the balance. Generally what you all will do, you will take one rough paper, you will do the working here, there, and you will be confused. No confusion from now onwards. Your working can be here. And what we'll write now? Here. We'll write cost. Cost is 60,000. From that we'll minus depreciation. How much is depreciation we are going to charge? 6,000. 60 minus 6 gives you 54,000. And what we call this 54,000? We call it as written down value. Nothing but balance carried down. Written down value. When we bought the asset, it was how much? 60,000. After using 1 year, the value has come to 54,000. So we'll balance the account. Same date, we'll close. By balance carried down. How much? 54,000. And close the account. Here, close the account. Both the sides, 60,000. First year is completed. 31st March year ended. When the year will start? The next year will start on 1st April 2017. To balance brought down. How much balance is there? 54,000. So what I said? Gradually the value of asset will, so it is decreased. Again next year, 31st March 2018. What is that? Again we'll charge depreciation by depreciation. How much? 6,000. On original cost I calculated 6,000. Again I'll go to working, I'll subtract here. Minus depreciation 6,000. Always keep in mind the place of decimals. According to the place of decimals, write the figures, that is the numbers, so that you will get the correct answer. So 0, 0, 0. 4 minus 6, possible? No. So borrowed. 14 minus 6, 8. Left over 4, 4. What we'll call? Written down value. So close the account again. By balance carried down, 48,000. Close it with total of 54,000. How many years completed? 2 years. They asked us to prepare for how many years? 3 years. Now we are in third year. 1st April 2018. To balance brought down. How much? 48,000. So again 31st March 2019. By depreciation. How much will I charge again? 6,000. So I'll minus again 6,000. By minus 6,000, how much I get? 0, 0, 0. 8 minus 6, 2 and 4. This is written down value again. So close. By balance carried down. How much? 42,000. Close the account. Close the account with 48,000 both the sides. What is the balance of fourth year? We'll bring down 1st April 2019. To balance brought down. How much, sir? 42,000. They asked you to prepare for 3 years. Did we complete for 3 years? Yes. 16 to 17, 1 year. 17 to 18, second year. 18 to 19, third year. And fourth year we left the balance. What is happening to asset? Gradually the asset value is decreasing. One page, complete solution with working we have done. This method if you follow 100% you will get the correct solution. And if you do this pattern, I assure that your examiner will give you 5 out of 5 in exam. Is it clear? When did we purchase? 1st April. So what we should do? To bank amount. Credit side, by depreciation amount. And by balance carried down. That is the difference between debit and credit. Like that, how many years they are asking, that many years we have to do. Here, we bought asset in the financial year beginning. So 12 months it came. Have a glance for a second, everyone. Everyone can look on the question for a while. 3,000 minus 6,054. I have not used any working page and all. Generally, I see the students you writing the calculation part in the working notes. That is in the working rough page. No. You all will follow this method, which will help you a lot. So cost 60,000 minus depreciation 6,000, 54,000, again 6,000. Like that, if we subtract here itself, your answer is ready. Now, let us see on the second question. We'll look into the second question. What is the second question given? In the second question, they gave you the machine, but they gave you a different date. That we are going to consider and solve the problem. In the second question, if you see, when did we purchase the machine? We bought it on 1st October. For how much? 25,000. And how much we have paid for repairing it? 5,000. So total cost is 30,000. How much is the depreciation again? 10%. Which method? Original cost method.